Hello, good morning. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about family losses and how we move through the process of losing the matriarch of a family, and sustain our jobs and the rest of the family that we were part of, and being able to just not forsake the emotions you're feeling, the grief, because it is a very valuable emotion. All of them are. And to have a sudden loss of such a strong force in a family, it pretty much shakes you. Or I can just speak from myself. It um it it really puts things in a different perspective, and it kind of puts you in a place where you're gonna just sit and think for a moment of how powerful this person is in your family, and then how the impact of losing her will be for the family. But the piece I want to hit on this morning is just to learning how to grieve and still continue to work and do your other responsibilities, your duties, daily duties. Um, it is quite challenging. Um, it's been about a day and a half, and I'm gonna return to work and go on and with my teaching. But one thing that is different from how I may have responded to this earlier in my life is that I understand how important it is to not push those feelings of grief down and stuff them, but to acknowledge that I am grieving, our family is grieving, and then that's okay. What I've learned through several uh, positive personal growth workshops and through therapy is that it is so important to identify the grief, the emotion rather that you're feeling, and to honor that, because each one of our emotions are very important. It's essential to us growing through life and not just going. So I am going to honor that this is a sad, grieving part of my life that I have to embrace in order to move on, to heal. And losing someone is, in my opinion, is never something that feeling of grief. I don't believe that it goes away completely, but you learn different ways to kind of go through life, and the pain not sting as hard as the years go by. Now, this is something that's very fresh, and so I understand that at this point in the grieving process, that it's not going to you know be as easy to push through, especially when you see members of your family struggling, and it is very difficult to watch, but it's also very beautiful to watch. And I say that because we know that the end of our life is death. We know that it is inevitable for each and every one of us, but what a beautiful experience to know and love an individual, to spend time with someone that you love and that's such a strong and special force in the family. What a beautiful thing to have known love, to have shared love. It's not everyone that gets to experience different moments with loved ones, so I do not take for granted those huge moments in our life, those little simple doing nothing but just watching Steve Harvey or some type of a camp meeting with her. I do not take that for granted, because I know that those moments, the big, the small, the indifferent, have blessed my life individually. So what I will do is, when the moments of sadness come up, I won't push it away. I will honor those moments, because it's so necessary for my growth. I get that now. I get it. And so I will embrace each day, with a little more love, a little more compassion for myself and for my grieving process, which in turn, I believe, will help me to be there for my husband, my mother-in-law, all of the family members. It'll help me as I practice my own self-care and self-honoring of each one of my emotions. So again, this message today is just speaking about losing a family member, but also honoring the emotion that comes up after the loss. For me, and for many of you, it's a work in progress. I know that it's okay to cry. I know that it's okay to feel the pain that comes with losing someone you won't see again. I know it now, and I understand it. And as I grieve, as I am sad, as I sit with my family, with my husband, I will honor my pain as well as theirs, and I will just sit there and hold space for as much as I can. So I encourage anyone to take a moment and just consider a perspective of honoring a loss. Consider looking at life in a way that it is life is full of all types of experiences. From birth and to death, and it is inevitable. But one thing that we can do that will honor our loved one that we lose is to continue to learn about our own self-care and identifying the different emotions, because each and every one of our emotions are valid and essential to growing. So I encourage you to love on yourself first, and then someone else, because the best kind of love we can share is the love that has been fostered with self-care. So again, I encourage you to embrace your emotions and keep growing personally and beyond. And remember, continue to shine your life now.